haven't watched it. I had Robes look at it, and I'm trying not to look back at that. But I probably will watch it before we play, mainly to see how they guarded some of our stuff. But the game I watched already, they're still playing just as hard, just as physical as they did. They faced they were down 9 and came back on one win. They were down last night, and playing against the zone for 40 minutes is really hard. And Eastern plays that 40 minutes of zone. No matter what you do, they're playing zone. So that was a tough deal for them.
Cal, you said after that game last year you would have a tough-minded team this year because you couldn't go through that again. Now you've had your first taste of adversity. Are you seeing the things you want to see out of it?
Well, the one thing is when you out-rebound a team like Michigan State, they're way tougher than we were a year ago. But still, our guard play is not where it needs to be physically. And the rules dictate some of that, but some of it's just us. But we've got a ways to go with this team, and I've said it from the day one. You know, we fought like crazy to get back in that game. We had to run one play 16 times. Just keep running it, same play. We found one thing that worked, and it was like, we're not changing. One coach said to me, let's run. And I said, are you watching the game? We're running one thing here until the game ends. And you know, we've got to do some other things as a team, and we changed some things. The way we were playing, we had to change a little bit of stuff, and we're trying to tweak some stuff to see what works for this team, because this team is different than the others I've coached.
Is the positive that you have a guy you can run, play 16 times to?
Well, we have a couple of guys that have to, we need to run pick and roll. We need to run things for our wings. You always have Julius to go to. Alex is playing out of his mind. You know, it was a great thing. Kids, especially young kids, their egos. Alex went from a starter to the sixth man to way too many minutes to probably a few minutes less than he needs. Less shots, and all of a sudden he's like, his stuff is skyrocketing. So that stuff doesn't matter. The shots and points, that's all ego. It's how are you playing? He and Julius carried us. And the other guys kind of were out there. But those two carried us. And so you're trying to tell the other guys, you know, you got to sink into your role and then be the best at that. And that is how you help our team and help yourself.
How did you feel with the way Andrew and Aaron reacted to the way they played?
Well, you get a lot of people crying in that locker room after that game. And they both knew. I mean, the guys that didn't play well knew they didn't play well. And so, you know, we did some things yesterday. It comes back to the same thing, like, wait a minute. You didn't know this? Like, we started working on some things yesterday that I saw on the tape. If you think they know, you're going to make a mistake. So they're no different than any other young team, young freshman. But Aaron's going to be fine, so is Andrew. They'll be fine. From this, you got to change, though. And I said that yesterday. Just saying, okay, they'll learn from that. I need to see that there's change. There's a change in an attitude. There's a change in an approach. There's a change in an effort level. There's a change in a focus. As long as that's happening, then it was a good experience for us.
You mentioned body language with Alex. How do you feel about
Way better.
How do you feel about theirs, Andrew and Aaron?
Well, they've got to learn. I mean, you know, they get upset with themselves, but you can't, you know, you just can't do it. They've got to learn. This stuff doesn't, when you've had a habit you've had for 17 years to say, okay, within 2 months you're going to change. You look at Alex, it took him a year. It took him a full year to realize if I don't change this, I'm not making it. He's changed.
He was one of the guys that sat in that locker room after Robert Morris and said, that night, I know I need to come back because I didn't do what I thought I could do this year. I didn't get out of this what I wanted to get out of it. What's the fundamental change?
It was more a mentality. He just wasn't emotionally ready to do stuff. And right now, I'm just telling these guys, let's worry about being good college players, because we're not right now. Just worry about being good college players. Worry about being a good college team. When the season's over, we'll worry about all that other stuff. Let's worry. Unpack the bags, boys. Unpack the bags. Let's start playing some basketball. Let's get better.